In a seismic development that has sent shockwaves across the globe, the United States Congress has formally announced sanctions against several high-ranking members of South Africa's African National Congress, ANC, over long-standing allegations of corruption and abuse of public office. Among those named in the unprecedented move are close allies of President Cyril Ramaphosa, who now finds himself in an increasingly vulnerable and precarious position. This bombshell announcement came late Wednesday evening during a special press briefing led by senior members of the U.S. House Committee on Foreign Affairs, who cited grave and systematic violations of anti-corruption norms, illicit enrichment, and the undermining of democratic institutions in South Africa. The list reportedly includes key ANC figures, some of whom have held strategic cabinet positions and wielded massive influence over state resources, state-owned enterprises, and tender systems. While the U.S. has not released the full list of those sanctioned, insiders confirm that the names include individuals from Ramaphosa's inner circle, raising questions about how deep the corruption runs and whether the president himself will face further scrutiny. The Ramaphosa question: accountability or complicity? Though President Ramaphosa has long styled himself as a reformer and anti-corruption crusader, critics argue that his administration has largely failed to act decisively against powerful players implicated in state capture and financial mismanagement. Now, with the U.S. stepping in and imposing targeted financial sanctions, including asset freezes and visa bans, Ramaphosa is under intense pressure to clean house, or face international isolation. One congressional spokesperson stated, "The American people cannot stand by while billions are siphoned from the public coffers of a democratic partner, especially when those funds are meant for basic services such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. These sanctions are meant to send a message: corruption has consequences." According to sources, the sanctions are part of the Global Magnitsky Act framework, which enables the U.S. government to target foreign officials involved in serious corruption or human rights violations. These measures are already sending ripple effects through the South African financial and diplomatic landscape, with potential implications for trade relations, foreign aid, and bilateral cooperation. Back home, the political temperature inside Luthuli House has hit boiling point. Some ANC members have gone on the defensive, claiming the sanctions are an attack on South African sovereignty. Others are calling for urgent internal reforms and demanding a special National Executive Committee (NEC) meeting to address the scandal. Opposition parties wasted no time in seizing the moment. The Democratic Alliance, DA, Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, and other formations have slammed the ANC for tarnishing South Africa's reputation on the international stage. DA leader John Steenhuisen said, "This is confirmation of what we've been saying for years: the ANC is beyond redemption. President Ramaphosa must resign, or he will drag the country down with him." Meanwhile, the South African rand took an immediate hit following the news, falling sharply against the US dollar amid fears of broader economic fallout. Financial analysts warn that if the ANC government fails to respond adequately, more countries may follow America's lead, potentially triggering a diplomatic crisis and investor pullout. Civil society organizations, many of which have been tirelessly fighting corruption, have cautiously welcomed the sanctions. "It's sad that it had to come from outside our borders," said a spokesperson from Corruption Watch. "But perhaps now the leadership will be forced to take real action." Protests are already being planned in major cities including Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Cape Town, with citizens demanding transparency, resignations, and urgent reforms. Social media platforms are ablaze with hashtags like #ANCExposed, #RamaphosaResign, and #SanctionState. Ramaphosa is now at a crossroads. Sources within the presidency say a major address to the nation is expected within days, as pressure mounts for a full accounting and immediate action. International observers and South African citizens alike are waiting to see whether the president will finally act decisively, or fall with the very party he pledged to reform.